and from Ablekuma North rerun, the violence that ensued and matters arising to rogue security in the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. We engaged today the ranking on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Rev Ntim Fordjour. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo. Oh, I'm not
okay.
Great.
All right. But let's start from your party, because you're having your National Delegate Conference tomorrow, right?
Very much so.
At the University of Ghana Sports Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the preparations so far?
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me on your show. We are having our national conference tomorrow. We are expecting all our delegates and executives across the country to gather, thousands of them, and we are praying for them to come safely, for the Lord to take them and bring them safely and grant them journey mercies. Because tomorrow we are going to consider some key proposals, constitutional amendments into our constitution that will reposition us in our poise to regain power in 2028. We had Professor Quay committee going around the whole country, engaging party stalwarts, grassroots, getting feedback from them. And out of that, there was a need to be able to make some specific amendments. There was a need to have certain expansions and changes in our internal structure. All these amendments, there was a committee that was set up and received proposals. So all that the grassroots have spoken to the party, the changes they want to see, National Council will have to adopt those proposals that will pass. And so that's why we're gathering. It's the highest decision-making body of the party, and tomorrow we're expecting that the several hundreds of proposals that are going to strengthen the party, revitalize the party, even make it more attractive, will pass for us to reorganize ourselves and poise for victory. Okay,
interesting. So tomorrow is all about looking at the changes you make to your constitution.
Absolutely.
I mean, when the Professor Quay committee was going around, we heard of the party people saying that you need to expand your base. Is that something you're considering? People said, let all members of the party vote.
The expansion was very key. It's topical. Grassroots sentiment is that you want to expand. They want to see some expansion. To the extent of the expansion, conference will determine. Some have had various proposals. Some are proposing, one man, one vote. Some are also proposing some limited expansion. And all those brilliant proposals related to expansion, they are in various shades. But tomorrow, we'll see the popular expansion proposal that will carry the day. But at the end of the day, I can assure you that the party is poised to have an expansion, but to the extent of which we can only hope to see at the end of tomorrow.
Okay. But again, you've come under fire, the NPP, for trying to do a top-down approach in terms of your proposal to elect your flag bearer first. Why that one?
Many people have not understood the decisions that were taken, or I would say that some people clearly misrepresented the decision National Council took. There's nothing like top-down. The conduct of the presidential election or the presidential primaries in NPP in our constitution is always isolated. It is decoupled from the internal elections that we conduct, right from polling stations, electoral area, to constituency, to regional and national. That is completely separated from it. The two are delineated. So we have the internal elections and we have the conduct of presidential primaries. So if you recall, in 1998, when we suffered a defeat in 1996 with President John Agyekum Kufuor, when we obtained 39%, we thought that some very urgent measures had to be taken.
Oh, he had 39% there
at the time. 96. Yes, we obtained 39% at the time. And we thought that, no, we need to conduct an early presidential primaries. And so in 1998, we conducted early presidential primaries, decoupled it completely from the rest of the internal elections, and with the same delegates that had taken part in the election that culminated into his Flagbearership in 1996 election. We were successful with that. And when we repeated him subsequently in 2000, we won. We had a very beautiful victory. And so it is not something that has never been done before. But what the decision National Council took was that we determined 31st January 2026 to be the date where presidential primaries will be conducted. When that is done, we'll come back to the rest of the internal elections and then start it right from the bottom, go and conduct polling station, conduct electoral area, take it to constituency, regional, and all the way to national. But the reason why that decision became very popular was that in the Professor Quay engagement committee, engagement with the rank and file, and various stakeholders and stalwarts of the party, one proposal that stood out so popular, which was a sentiment of the grassroots, was that they pushed strongly for early conduct of presidential primaries. Okay. All of them said that, look, last electoral cycle, we spent 3 years electing our internal officers right from polling station all the way to the president. By the time we were done and came to conduct the presidential primaries, it was a span of 3 years. And so a lot of cracks came in. And we had just barely a year to election, and we didn't have sufficient time to patch up. And so if you're going into an election, you need sufficient time to reconcile properly, because every internal election in any political party comes along with its attendance cracks. And so we needed to listen to the grassroots, who strongly proposed that as soon as possible, let us conduct the presidential primaries, get it done and over with. Then we come, expand our structures, and then we take it up bottom all the way from polling stations, electoral areas. So we should add more to the polling station, add a bit to the electoral area, and then we'll come to the constituency, regional, and national. And so that is precisely what is playing out here. So it is not the case that we are going to conduct presidential primaries, and then after that we do national, we do regional, constituency. We never turn it upside down. Consistent with what we do. But this time, the presidential primary is going to be conducted early on. Kojo, we've never had a time in our history of democracy where an incumbent government has so politically persecuted political opponents like the way we are saying it now. There is not a single week or month that the incumbent government does not storm the house of a former appointee or a former minister's house. And there's not a single time that they don't persecute our former appointees and party stalwarts. Oh, okay. So there are a lot of such that even go on, which don't even come to the attention of the media. They are inviting people here and there with that basis, intimidating them, trying to gag them. A lot of things is going on. And then they are further emboldened to want to remove the Chief Justice. They are threatening further to remove EC chair, and so many atrocious things they want to do to bastardize our democracy. But in all of this, we don't have a certain precedent as a party, definitely, and we don't have a flag bearer presidential candidate. So that figurehead, that will be, the champion around whom the rank and file will rally, who would set the vision, who will set a tone, who will engage CSOs, who will engage the diplomatic community, who would even dialogue with the president and say, we are all key actors, in our governance structure and our democracy. These decisions, we disagree. And to lead that engagement for, the political persecution to be toned down, it is not there. And so it is so important. And again, if we will be very honest with ourselves, in 2009, when we went into opposition, for about a year, there was no news on Rancor about who are aspiring to become the next flag bearer. For about a year, we didn't hear anything about that. For about a year, President Akufo-Addo had never even indicated forcefully that he was going to go again. We had the main contender, Honorable Alan Tremantin, was even all the way at WTO, discharging his mandate creditably. And so we had that calm up until the following year, where everyone came up again to state their ambition. But we have a peculiar situation where barely weeks or months after our defeats, we have very strong and very creditable stalwarts who within the party, about 8 of them, who have declared their intention to want to contest. All of them are fantastic gentlemen who want to, unfortunately we don't have a lady yet, but very fantastic gentlemen who have all indicated their intention to contest. Anytime you have presidential aspirants stating their interest very early on, it sets a lot of division within the rank and file, from national, regional, constituency, all the way to the polling station and grassroots. People take positions. And so if you do not conduct the presidential elections early on, and you wait till about 2 years before you are done with all the internal elections to conduct it, there will be so much cracks, and there will be limited time to heal the cracks before the main election 2028. And therefore, anyone who wants to become presidential candidate will be interested in who becomes a polling station executive, because all of them are going to vote for him eventually. You'll be interested in who becomes electoral area coordinator, who becomes constituency officer, who becomes regional officer, so who becomes national. So when those entrenched positions, imagine having 8 teams, 8 interests competing at various polling stations, electoral areas, constituency, regional, all the way to national. There'll be a lot of acrimony, a lot of rancor, a lot of animosity. And therefore, you are likely to get into a situation where you go for a conduct of a polling station, and somebody will say, because of some presidential interests, we are going to conduct the election, let's say 12 noon. By 10 a.m., you get there, it's been done like 7 a.m. because somebody wants to make sure he protects the process to get his people in there. And when that acrimony creeps in all the way to national, it would be terrible for our party. But when you conduct the presidential primaries first, get it done and over with, there will be time to unite all the 8 stalwarts who indicated the ambition, who were aspirants, and then that unified front is what we are going to take down. We will now have a very calm atmosphere, a very peaceful atmosphere within which the conduct of the polling station elections will be done. And will be done without rancor. Okay. So very deserving, hard-working party people at the grassroots will get to be voted upon, and the best ones will win. Same for electoral area, same all on to constituency, to region, and to national, and we would have formed a formidable team at all levels to support the vision of whoever will emerge as the presidential candidate. So this is how it is going to be done. And so we are appealing to the general public and our party rank and file to disregard the other misrepresentations and misconceptions that were created around the decisions taken by National Council. So this is what it is, and it is in the best interest of the party's strength. Okay,
and you don't agree with people who say that this will inure to the benefit of the flag bearer that will be elected, that every other position will toe on his line, because if he wins, you have that influence, which will not all go well for the party.
So it's not a matter of control. It's a matter of teams that will work, because mind you, if you become presidential candidate, you haven't become president. So there's one thing becoming presidential candidates and another thing becoming president. So once you are elected presidential candidate, it is in your interest to ensure that the united front is built at the grassroots, and that no particular man wants to exert control, because not only your team members alone will not be sufficient to guarantee you the victory you need. If among the 8, whoever emerges, you will need the supporters from all the 7 other aspirants to be able to campaign strongly and forcefully to win. And so whoever emerges as a leader, it's in the interest of that candidate to unite everyone at the grassroots and not to interfere unduly in the conduct, and then allow the deserving ones, the hard-working ones at various structures to earn their positions and to be able to support the campaign and wage one that is very forceful and effective and united for victory. And that is exactly what is going to play out. I do not, for all the aspirants that have declared so far that I know, I do not think there's any single of them who would have any diabolical, intentions to want to take control. They are all very reasonable, people who have victory in sight and would want to do what is best for our party when they become candidates. So this is the best system.
Okay, but for the first time in a very long time, former President Kufuor, former President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo will not be at this conference. That's what I hear. Is that true, and why?
Yes, rather unfortunately, President Akufo-Addo and President Kufuor, their excellencies, will not be able to attend because they are out of jurisdiction on very important matters which unavoidably cannot make them available for the day. And we would have also loved, as a party, the party hierarchy also felt that a whole meeting was convened even to discuss this. A whole national council was convened. And in fact, the sentiment was that we so much cherish and desire the presence of our two former presidents. As a matter of fact, in Tree, there's an adage that says, you don't finish the meat without the father. And therefore, we cherish them to be part of what's going to happen tomorrow in person. But be that as it may, there are some constraints, and the date had been advertised long before this time, before the exigencies that were occasioned for our revered former presidents to be out of the country unavoidably. So plans are far advanced in terms of logistics, in terms of security arrangements, even booking accommodation for thousands of delegates that are coming. You had to resort to accommodation by university campuses, University of Ghana, UPSA. That wasn't even sufficient. We had to even go further to Anakazo, Bishop Dark's camp, to get extra facilities to accommodate our people who are coming from all over the country. So with that arrangement, the moment you change it to any other date, you will not have those facilities available, because now some of the continuing students in most of these campuses are not on campus, and so it makes it available. By the time you want to shift it to a more favorable date to accommodate our revered former presidents, they would have come in, the facilities will not be available. Even the very stadium where we're going to conduct, soon the league is going to recommence, and it's not going to be available on weekends for our program. And so it will go for other considerations. Then we may have to consider another venue, another city, and then we also have Akwatia by-election right, ahead of us. And so by the time that we're able to determine another convenient date, we would have run into like 2-3 months, and then a lot of things would have delayed. So we took a position as National Council, and then an envoy, very important high-level envoy, were delegated to engage, our revered former presidents, and to appeal to them that we really accept their desire to want to participate, but these are the constraints and for which we appeal, that they understand, and then they will participate, however, virtually. And that has been accepted in good faith, and we are all going to have it, with the spirit and presence, virtual presence of our former president solidly behind us. So there's no acrimony about that at all.
It is not about the fact that former President Kufuor said you left him out of the running.
No. It's not about that. In all good faith. Yeah.
You're all happy with it?
Very happy with the decision. Yes.
Oh. Well, this goes to, this is inures, as people say, inures to your camp, and that's why you are comfortable with it.
See, it's not about camp, it's about the party. And I think that a lot of misrepresentation had gone on, and that is why the truth is distorted. And I think that when the public gets these explanations, they will get to understand that there's really no rancor and there's really no acrimony in the party. And there's just facts that have been distorted out there.
So tomorrow, what time are you starting? What time are you ending?
Well, by early morning, by 9 a.m., even by 7 a.m., you find the place will be almost filled. But around about 8:30, 9, the whole program would have commenced. Mm-hmm.
As for the ending, you don't know that.
I'm not sure the time, because we have a number of proposals to go through.
Let's delve into Ablekuma North. You saw what happened. What is your committee doing about what happened?
Today, right from your studio, we have a meeting. We have invited the Interior Minister, we've invited the Defense Minister and other key actors to a meeting where the IGP will be there, the Chief of Defense Staff and other key actors will be there. We're going to have some very important conversations. Ablekuma North is one of them. And that meeting is going to delve into the details, and for which I will not prejudice the discussion, but except to state that I am personally disappointed in the way that the government conducted themselves with the appointees, key appointees leading the charge in the rerun of Ablekuma North election. We're talking about 19 polling stations. and the turnout, when you put it together, all the people who came to vote, they were not even exceeding 4,800. But you have a key stalwart of NDC, Basintali, on social media, on videos, clearly mobilizing, calling for 5,000 men, and of course 5,000 tax, you know, and subsequently we saw them deployed. And we saw them deployed, you know, to the place. I mean, if you have over 4,800 going to vote, and you have 5,000 tax coming into the place, exceeding even the people who are going to. No, I'm saying that if you have just about 4,800 people going to vote, and then you are mobilizing 5,000 people tax to go there, what are they going to do? Are they voters? Are they going to vote? Are they Cordeo agents? Are they electoral officers? What role did they really have? Were they policemen? Were they security agents? So they didn't have any gravitas whatsoever, even to be there in the first place. But nobody condemned that. We saw subsequently the instructions they were given actually executed in videos. Former ministers of NPP were assaulted. Honorable Howard Kumsin was assaulted. We saw Honorable Daquan Newman assaulted, the deputy organizer. Yes, I didn't. She was right there with Honorable Howard Kumsin. That attack, they were together. And so she was equally assaulted. And then Chris Lloyd, Mr. Chris Lloyd, the deputy organizer of NPP, was also assaulted. And we have all the videos are abounding in the full glare of the police. And the videos and the pictures show clearly the faces of the culprits, the hooligans and the miscreants who exacted this violence. It's been a week. No arrest has been made. Rather unfortunate. Basintali is walking free. He has not been arrested. Hanabisu, the rather insensitive endorsement of the violence, has not been dismissed, and they're all walking free, and the criminals who engage in these criminal acts have not been arrested and prosecuted. So what the government, President Mahama, is signaling to the youth out there is that so long as a political actor calls you out, emboldens you to a polling station to perpetrate any act of violence, you'll be protected. So now they're introducing color into crime. Because if these people were not NDC and any ordinary person had committed these crimes, wouldn't they have been arrested within a day or minutes?
But the guys we saw in the video, they didn't have colors on them. How can you tell the NDC?
The NDC have come out. The NDC stalwarts have come out to say that they are their boys.
Who and who?
Well, nobody has denied them. So why are they not arrested? Why have they not been arrested? Because they were not NPP boys. They were not. And it was not the CPP didn't have any representation there. Cheddar didn't have any representation there. LPG didn't have any representation there. No political party had representations there. It was mainly NPP and NDC. And those NDC, NPP boys would never attack their former minister. You know, they are known NDC people, and their pictures are out there, the videos are out there, and to date, not a single arrest. You see, the Ghana Police Service, I know, and they are. I would never say anything to, to spite their integrity, because they are still very competent and they are very professionals. Even now, they are. The only challenge is that somebody is holding their hand back, put their hands behind them, and instructing them not to act. If that instruction is removed, even today, they will go and arrest them. Because we have a professional, a fair police service who do not know political callous. And therefore, we are urging whichever that political hand is to stop the interference and allow the police to cause the arrests. Whoever gave them instruction that just go there and look on and let people do what they like. If we don't nip this in the bud, what's going to happen is that a very major threat which we have in this country, which is political vigilantism, is going to fester. But
are you saying there's a big hand because you know that is what happens, as in during your time you were doing that?
During that time, what happened was that when Ayawaso Westward of violence took place, we all condemned it.
But we never saw any prosecution.
We saw commission of inquiry. What is bigger in holding people accountable for their crime than commission of inquiry? Because arising out of that, any element of criminality is prosecuted. So there's the biggest action that any president... But those
who were fingered out in that commission were left off.
Everybody was guilty. There was no... See, the biggest action that you can take in such approach is when you even arrest and prosecute individuals, it is one action that is commendable, but it is not even to the point of dealing with it holistically, to the point of establishing presidential commission of inquiry into the matter transparently, so that all the hooligans will be there and they will be interrogated. Who sent them, why they did that, and all that, so that other dimensions which were not even known to the public will come to the fore and be a deterrence to the larger community within the country. So that is what we did in our time. Okay. We didn't condone political violence. And what we saw in Ayawaso West Wogon, which we all condemned, just as we condemned any other political violence associated with any election time pass, was nothing close to what happened in a rerun of Ablekuma, just 19 police stations. And so if the corporates are not dealt with, you are going to find a political vigilantism emboldened. It's going to be a recipe for disaster. When it comes to this country today, as ranking member on Defense and Interior, I can tell you authoritatively that the threat of political vigilantism is way higher than the threat of violent extremism and terrorism in this country. I am telling you. But then the threat of political vigilantism, and if we don't nip it in the bud, a time will come we'll have no democracy, because whoever becomes MP, whoever becomes president, will not be by the determination of the thumbs of our citizens, will not be the declaration by electoral commission, but will be the determination of whichever political party has the most macho men and has the most violent people who will rush to coalition centers and forcefully declare for themselves, like we saw in play out in 2020, 2024. That is how come they have 187. Even the one that we won, that clearly just giving protection for EC, the court gave order, go to Ablekuma North and declare. They still found a way to violently whisk it away from us. Well, we don't have to continue.
Well, you are the ranking on the committee that has the opportunity to stop this from happening. What are you doing? You say you're going to meet them, but
yes,
really,
so that's
beyond
why,
that, what next?
And that is why I have given indication that one action we have taken is that we have held them before Parliament. All the key actors within the national security architecture who have key roles to play in nibbling this in the bud. We have called them right from your studio. We're going to have the meeting. But I am just indicating to you that the aspect I can relate to the public, because I don't have to prejudice the discussions. And so the aspect I can relate to you is that as we speak, a week on, we should have seen arrest. We should have seen prosecution. And the disappointment the Ghanaians are expressing is what I'm ferrying, and also to indicate that if this is not nipped in the bud, we're going to have political vigilantism, which is very dangerous. And we have Akwetia coming. Do we want to set them up for bloodshed? NPP blood, NDC blood, they're all very important. We need each and every one of them alive. Lives must not be lost because an election is going to be conducted.
So the Security and Interior Committee, the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament is meeting the security...
Absolutely, architecture.
Okay, today.
And we hope that at the end of the meeting, we're going to have a very credible action that will not just be on paper, but will see commitment in putting those actions into play, arresting, prosecuting, showing deterrence, and putting in formidable measures to become a disincentive to people who want to engage in this act of political vigilance.
If it becomes difficult for anybody to be arrested, will you be disappointed?
We'll have another step to take if it should get there. But I hope it will not get there. But if it gets there, there's another tool we will deploy.
What kind of step will you take when he gets there?
We have it, and I'm not going to release all my strategies here. Yeah, so we have them, and we'll work according to it in the best interest of our democracy, best interest of saving the precious lives that we have. If youth clash, macho men clash, and people are killed, if people are prevented from voting, if we don't stop a time will come, you put a ballot box at a polling station, nobody will go and vote. Nobody wants to go and get killed. Nobody wants to go and get battered. And so you put your box there, but only the macho man will go and vote. Yes, nobody will decide. So only your macho man will go and vote. You see, and we don't want just one group of people to decide. We want everybody to take place. We want our old women. We want people who have persons with disability. We want people who are peace-loving, who have nothing to do with NPP, NDC, but just want to decide in our democracy. Let them all feel free. But if this festers, nobody will go to the.
Will this meeting also? Will this meeting also look at Akwatia by-election, which of course is impending? You
know, Ablekuma North lessons and fallouts and measures being put to nib it in the bud definitely have implications for Akwatia, and we'll have to also look at preparation. It's all part of the discussions we're going to
be having today. Okay. Yesterday I spoke to Dr. Tony Edu, and he said when it comes to Galamsey, he believes if we deploy the military men, he mentioned the names, 2 battalion or so, they can deal with it. You are on a committee that really has an oversight over this ministry.
You know, Mr. Tonedu is a man I respect so much. As a matter of fact, he's a chief in one of the communities that is related strongly to my community within my constituency.
Dr. Tony Edu?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Tony Edu. And so you're talking about the CEO of...
No. I mean the...
Tony Edu, not Tony Obing.
Yes.
Okay. So
Dr. Tony Edu,
let me not confer any false title on Dr. Tony Edu.
I'm sure he's watching now.
But he's still, apart from the chieftaincy title, he's also a man I respect so much.
He's been a former deputy minister for
Dr. Tony Edu is a big stalwart, is a very big man in this country, and we all respect him. His views is his views. I have my disagreements.
Really?
Yes, on this particular.
That you can use the military to stop Galamsey.
I have my disagreement with that. Yes, the military will come in to assist. You see, the military have a core role they play. And we should not forget in this country that the Ghana Police Service is the institution that is so competently, established for such functions.
We are at war.
Yes, I know. I'm not in any way downplaying. I'm not in any way downplaying the sophisticated national security risk that Galamsey has posed now and continue to increase. But what I'm saying is that if we continue to rely on the military for everything, even including guarding personnel people, that is not. But they will come in. There are special operations in certain specialized high-risk areas, which they'll be required to come in to support, or a specific operation will be done for them to lead and to get it executed. That is there, and no one will take it away from them. Okay. But if we say that soldiers should be the frontliners in the fight against Galamsey, it's not going to be sustainable. Okay. Because Galamsey is not going to end today. Okay. So we need to adopt a sustainable approach. And my view is that the Ghana Police Service have to be resourced, have to be adequately resourced and empowered to be at the front line. And then not only that, because it's a national security risk. Okay. So it's a whole coordination. A number of other security agencies, including the military, as and when and the situations require, will be required to come in. But let the Ghana Police Service be front and center of it. All right. And at some point, national security will come in, NIB will come in, and then but the river guards, they have no significant role to play.
I'm grateful. Rev Ntim Fordjour is Member of Parliament for Asin South constituency. He is ranking on the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, and we had that chat with him. Now, before we go, let me wish this young lady from Jabin Chrome a happy birthday. So this is coming from your father, Raymond, and she says, a blessed birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you and keep elevating you and make you, a leader of your generation. You are 5 years today. Your name is Auntie Akosua JC. Auntie Akosua JC. A big happy birthday to you. Grow to be big in this country. And regards to all Jabin Chrome people in Ahanta West. Now, also, a blissful, belated birthday to you, Miss Florence Sanka. You are popularly known as Adezewa of Fast Blocks in Takrade. On your 50th birthday, the prayer is that may the good Lord lift you higher into bigger realms with blessings of good health, wealth, and prosperity. And this is coming from your bestie, Ella of Ghana Health Service in Second D. Yeah. Okay. On this note, I thank you very much.
Today is the birthday of my constituency secretary, Elvis Bosomtrain. So God bless him and preserve him and increase him. But on a rather sad note, I'm in black for most parts of the past 2 weeks because of the passing of my very good friend and dear brother, the late Honorable N.S. Yakumi. May his soul rest in peace. Condolences to his family and his constituents and the NPP fraternity. Yesterday was a very sad day in Parliament when the respected majority leader, rather unlike of him, came to pass some unfortunate remarks, very insensitive. Even when the Speaker of Parliament was, admonishing him and directing him on the right path, he kept insisting, and he created the impression that all that NDC is interested in is the seats and not the sensitivity to the people who have lost their beloved, and insisting that we begin to count the number of days to the by-election right from the day that, and Speaker said, please, this is a sensitive matter. And your colleague member of Parliament has passed. Let us wait for the family to officially write to the Speaker. All those by-elections, it will be determined. It will be done in any way. So the NDC should not assume a posture that all they care about is just taking seats, including and members of Parliament that they persecuted until they died. They shouldn't. Lives are so important. You have 187. It wasn't enough for you. You went and and bullied a widow, took her seat. Now you want to target her.
We are grateful.
So let's assume a loving, more caring, pathetic post.
Thank you very much, Rev Ntim Fordjour. And that's it for the big stories today. Up next is the beautiful Noella Karian Yale with what? E-Corner. Just stay tuned for that.